This is lesson 5-6. Lesson 5-6 is identifying proportional and non-proportional relationships in graphs. And the opening exercise was taking table stuff and going to a graph. It said that Isaiah sold candy bars to help raise money for a scouting troop, and the table, which is on the next page, shows the amount of candy he sold compared to the money that he received. So I'm going over to the page over here. And now what we have is we have a table along with a graph. And I did a little bit of quick reviewing with people. It seemed like most kids had some understanding of a coordinate graphing system. This is a coordinate graphing system right here. You have your x-axis and you have your y. So this is the x and this is the y. And most kids have said that they have used graph paper before and taken information from a table and put it into a graph. Some kids said that they had done the little graphing activities where they would give you coordinates and you would have to put them on the graph paper and make a picture. So you've graphed before, but I will say that currently, right now in science classes, kids are working on taking table information and putting it in a graph with the pendulum lab that you guys have been working on. So that is another connection that you have there. What we're going to do is look here at this information. You've been told that the candy bars is the x. So if you look here, this is your x-axis. Oh, I forgot to mention too that this right here is just this section out of the coordinate graphing system, because once you get over here and here and here, those are negative numbers involved, and we're dealing with candy bars and money, so we don't need any negatives, so we're just going to be graphing, and that's why there's just like a little section right here. So this is your candy bars, and that's your x, so we would want to be at the 2 in the candy bars, and then the 3 on the money axis, which is right here. Oh my gosh, that was my husband sneezing all the way downstairs. My gosh. So the 3, you don't see a 3 here. It's located halfway between the 2 and the 4. So I would just make like a little mark there. And when you go to graph a point, it's just like playing Battleship. So if you say, you know, to your partner, do you have A6? And they have to look at their grid system and see if they have a ship sitting there. At A6, you go where the A and the 6 come together, and you put the little, pin in there if it's a hit or a miss. It works the same way. So 2 candy bars is right here, and then the $3 is right here. Now if you choose, you can do what I call tracer lines. So you kind of go up and then over, and where that meets, that's where you're going to put a point. Don't put a huge, gigantic point. Just make one that you can see. You don't have to put those lines on there. You can just go and make a point. That's fine with me too. And you keep doing that. So 4 candy bars. And then $5, that would be right here between 4 and 6. So 4 candy bars and $5. And I'd put my point right there. And then 8 candy bars. And this is where a lot of kids in class messed up because they just wanted to go over the next one. Got to go to 8. 8 candy bars, $9. And 9 would be located between the $8 and $10. So I would just come over here till I got over to the 8 and put a point. And then 12 and 12. 12 and 12 is the easiest one because they're both just like playing Battleship, kind of like on the line there. At this point, and my kid doesn't have a ruler anywhere in his room here, so I'm just trying to find something I can use as like a straight edge. Let's just use like his paycheck stubs here from working this summer. Okay, so we used rulers in class, but what you want to do is take your straight edge here, and what I'm noticing is I could put the straight edge right up against these first 3 points and it'd make a line, but then it's not going to hit my third one or my fourth one. Or I might be able to do like the first and second and the fourth, but then it doesn't go through the third. I'm going to have it go, because this looks more natural right here. And you have to hold your straight edge down, your ruler, whatever you're using as a straight edge. Don't freehand. And then you just go right along it, and it makes a perfect line. If you're using a straight edge, I can tell. I can tell when kids freehand, because it's not perfect. Notice that I didn't just play connect the dots. I didn't go boom, 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 and then over here. We literally want a line. I notice here that these points did not make a straight line. There's one of them that's off. and that's important. And also notice that my straight line, or my line, stretches all the way across the piece of graph paper that I was given. That's all really important. I'm just going to finish this really quickly here. Does the table show a proportional relationship? How do you know? And I'm looking here, and I can do this fairly quickly just by looking at the multiplier for the 12 and the 12. And I know that the multiplier for here would be 1, and 12 times 1 is 12. But if you look anywhere else in the data, like 2 times 1 is not going to be 3. It's actually 2 times like 1.5. So there is not a common multiplier here. So we would have to say, no, money isn't proportional to candy bars because there isn't a common multiplier. And this is the discovery activity, so we're actually getting to the whole point of what's the graph have to do with it, because eventually you're going to be able to just look at a graph and tell whether it's proportional or not. But right now we're just taking the table to a graph, using what we already know about tables, and then we're going to come to a conclusion later.